Hello and welcome! LittleBigPlanet is one of the most creative and amazing game series to come from the 7th generations of consoles. I personally spent many hours playing and creating my own levels in both LittleBigPlanets 1 and 2. And for me, the best LittleBigPlanet game is neither of them, but instead, LittleBigPlanet for the PlayStation Vita. LittleBigPlanet for the Vita is basically LittleBigPlanet 2, but on a portable console. And that actually got me thinking. Since in LittleBigPlanet 2 they advertised that you could build games, can the same thing be said about LittleBigPlanet Vita? More specifically, is it possible to build your own classic arcade games like Space Invaders or Centipede in LittleBigPlanet Vita? I mean, how hard can it be? Check out our games from us at 16-Bit Games. They cover a variety of genres and are available for free on Android and iOS, so why not check them out today? I began on LittleBigPlanet Vita's Moon, the empty canvas which all levels in LittleBigPlanet are made. It's been a while since I've actually created something in any LittleBigPlanet game, so to brush up on my skills, I decided to make a simple game based off a Pong console, which should test everything I need to make Centipede. I thought the biggest hurdle for me getting back into LittleBigPlanet Vita would have been the controls, or lack thereof, since the PlayStation Vita doesn't have as many buttons as a standard DualShock 3 controller. But to my surprise, LittleBigPlanet Vita borrowed some pages from Assassin's Creed 3 Liberations, and added touch controls where there was missing buttons, and button combinations for the rest. As a result, the game feels exactly the same to play as it did on the PlayStation 3, but when you got into the more intricate actions, like creating a level, the touch controls almost feel natural, as if the LittleBigPlanet series has always had touch controls. With a little bit of time and some elbow grease, I was able to complete my level. Now that we know that LittleBigPlanet can do all the individual components of Centipede, I think it's time to actually go and make it. And from the looks of it, this thing seems absolutely easy. I could probably get it done in a night. However, once the real work began, LittleBigPlanet Vita started putting up a fight. The creative tools are very powerful since it's basic computer logic, but when you actually need the logic to do some work, LittleBigPlanet is surprisingly picky with what an object can or can't do. It takes so much extra work to get any level to behave the way you want it to, and as a result, development was long and arduous. Simple tasks became larger and more complicated than it needed to be. But despite this, I was able to work through each problem as they came. It took a lot of time, but I believe it would have all been worth it when the game started to work. However, the following morning, things were looking grim. Come on. I'm done. No matter what I do, LittleBigPlanet just won't work. It won't let me build Centipede. It's either too slow or too quick, and I can't fine-tune it so that it just properly follows the freaking head. I think I'm starting to think that Centipede is impossible in LittleBigPlanet. The tools just aren't there. Or if they are there, they're just not fine-tuned enough for it to actually work. I think I have to call it and admit defeat. I was feeling defeated and completely stressed out. So to calm myself down, I decided to visit the planet Carnavalia, the main location for the story mode of LittleBigPlanet Vita. There I replayed the brilliant and odd story of LittleBigPlanet Vita, one of friendship and loss, and being close to achieving one's goals, but always being a step behind. It's a fun little adventure with really well done levels and a fantastic soundtrack to accompany it. It was so good that I was able to calm myself down and plan what I was going to do next. I'm not finished with this challenge, at least not yet. Centipede has always been an ambitious goal from the get-go. I mean, no one really even made Centipede and LittleBigPlanet 2. So I'm going to try again, but this time with Space Invaders. Not only does this game actually work in LittleBigPlanet 2, but it's a lot less ambitious, so it should be a lot easier to create. I began working for many hours. To get the best results, I created a lot of small-scale tests which slowed development down but ensured that if there was any bugs, it wouldn't be on my end. And my patience was rewarded. Space Invaders began to take shape, and I was prepared to scale up. However, when I started scaling, things started looking worse. The game started glitching in unpredictable and unexpected ways. And as much as I tried to code against it, it wasn't working. If I had to guess what the problem was, I would say it was because of unsafe CPU thread utilization. Or, to put it more simply, I hadn't reached the limits of not LittleBigPlanet Vita, but rather the PlayStation Vita itself. Which sadly means that it looks like it's pretty much impossible to build any major classic arcade game in LittleBigPlanet Vita. Despite the failures and the many hours of frustration that I experienced while trying to recreate Centipede and Space Invaders, I still had an absolute blast playing LittleBigPlanet Vita. The game itself is well crafted. There are many fun levels in the story campaign and the mini-games. And the creative tools are extremely powerful. You can do many things with it. Just don't expect going in that you could recreate something like Pac-Man or anything really more complicated than that. If you already own the PlayStation Vita, this is one of those must-have titles, and I honestly highly recommend it. And if you don't own a Vita and were thinking about getting one anyways, may I advise this title? Because LittleBigPlanet Vita is an endlessly replayable and fantastic game for your collection. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and take care.